Let me grab. I may have to take this hat off. I love it. It stands for something that I think is really important. But maybe a little bit too toasty in here. My space heater that has saved us multiple times from boiler issues. My girlfriend's house is kind of a fixer-upper. And I may have to just kind of lightly put this on or something like that. There is a back and a front, and there we go. I almost always have to look at it. Just bring it down like that. There we go. Whatever. Camera's reversed, so I can't. Sometimes it's hard to translate. All right. There we go. Much better. Usually, if it gets too hot, I pull it back like that. There we go. Not too bad. Okay. I got my silver needle tea here. Wow, that's so good. Oh my gosh. If you guys know anything about silver, anything about tea in general, you'll know that silver needle tea is a white tea, and its flavor is just, I can't even describe it. It's like a magic from a leaf or something like that. So we are going to listen to Mega Man X, Mega Man X2, and Mega Man X3 today. Been having some copyright issues, so to avoid that, just gonna play some older video game music. All right, let's post some links here, huh? It's only going to be about an hour and a half here. One moment. Yeah, I can only stream until about 4:30, so it's a lot shorter of a time span. I wanted to do 2 to 4 or 2 to 4:30, but some stuff panned out. Did not pan out that I thought was going to. So. Okay. Okay. So medieval themed. Oh, I do actually have to put I also have to put the link for the music I'm listening to in my I'm on Twitter now, posting it on Twitter. Come on. There we go. Now I have to jump on Discord. While I'm jumping on Discord, I will go into the live dashboard here real quick. There we go. Okay. There we go. Away it goes. Paste. Oh, so much pasting. All right, should probably get started here. Right, let's. So if you want to talk to me, hit me up on Twitter or Discord Messenger. Yes, the name of this world is Lava. Fancy stuff here going on. Got my amazingly delicious silver needle tea. Oh, spoilers. Nope, can't see that. Oh, yeah, we had a little bit of a fire here. And we had some, oh, what's this? Some lag going on? Let me open Twitter, make sure it's open on my phone here. If anyone wants to message me on there, you're free to. So before I start anything else, if anyone ever wanted to know what a woodland mansion looked like with all the wood removed, there it is. Oh, come on. I burned all of the wood. There might be like one piece of wood left somewhere, but I was pretty thorough. Oh, there's this thing. I'll just get rid of that. I burned all the wood. So this was originally a cobble. This is a little sidetrack here. This was originally all cobble and filled in completely, but I took it upon myself to sort of just carve this area out and fill it back up with water. Because when this generates, it fills all the void with cobble. And yeah, so this is going to be the skeleton, the frame of a large sort of fortified manor house. I don't even know how to describe it. But it's sort of like the outskirts of the medieval kingdom here. Get rid of some of these floaty woods. So I have some mining stuff going on here. And when I was doing this was I opened this all up. I took a 1 level, 1 block height and just took it all up to open up to the sky, and I realized that's a really good look, and it lights up a huge area too of sunlight, which is awesome. I was like, you know what? How can we take advantage of that a little bit more? And so what I did was the mine shaft that's over here has numerous. This is like a vent shaft, but I'm like, you know, I was trying to make vent shafts, but then I realized how much brighter it is when you bring the sky. You see on here on F3 it says light 15 sky 0 block. The sky is how much you're getting from the sun, basically. So that took me a little bit further. Now this one is probably the more extreme. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these, and there's a few more that are going down to the mine shaft. But this, and this is, like I said, this is sort of like a little side thing. But yeah, this is only illuminated for the most part by those daylight shafts. That's it. And I'm thinking, you know what? This could be like revolutionary in how I play the game. We could probably do with one right here, but yeah, there's actually one right there. But you can see I actually lit these fires previously because I was trying to see where to dig. That's one shaft. I think the last one is over here. No. There should be one more over here, to be honest. But the ravine kind of ends right here. You go on up here. So there's a lot of wood here. That's because this one is actually completely underwater. And this goes all the way down to whatever stone block is frozen. I don't accept ore blocks because typically you don't want a lot of weight resting on ore blocks. Like coal, for example, notoriously weak mineral, actually. Rock, whatever you want to call it. Gonna have some fancy schmancy bread here. This is milk bread. Chocolate chip milk bread. Smells good. I have this with my silver needle tea. So anyway, that's just sort of like got me started on, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to build up a whole thing where there's like a mining encampment over here. That's a big mine shaft. That's all being mined out. And part of the vents, well, they're fresh air and light. There's 2 of them right there. So this whole area here is basically all industrial mining and all that stuff. Part of this is going to be a large forge. And this is a kingdom that is in the pinnacle of peacetime. There's no real threat. So one of its major assets, which is the forging and foundries and metallurgy works and all that, that's going to be outside sort of like the main protected area. Now, the main protected area is going to be over here. There's going to be a nice big wall from there all the way around to here. Now, the main function of this wall is actually not as a wall itself. It's going to serve as barracks for the troops and also as a trading hall. And the other reason we want that is because at nighttime, the stuff that comes out of the water. Instead of White Walkers, I'm going to call them Wet Walkers. So I started fiddling around over here. I'll get to that in a second. But there's a bunch of caves under here too, which can, in future series, might be able to, the future episodes I should say. This is just sort of like the first episode, part one of this. So this is like an advanced lookout type thing, and not a military, not a strategic military lookout. It's sort of like keeping an eye on the realm kind of thing. Making sure there's no ships in distress, making sure there's no big fires going on, making sure there's, you know, like I said, this is sort of like a giant capital area of the kingdom. The kingdom is, I don't know, 10,000 blocks in every direction. Safe and peaceful. This is the center of the middle of the kingdom. No real danger. Can't even express to you how amazing that food is. Oh my gosh. So there's some mysticism going on gravity in this world is slightly less than in our world, and just only slightly. So hills like this are possible without any huge tectonic action. So there's no fault line up under here. A lot of it has to do with more sedimentary, erosional type things. But anyway, so this floating island has some sort of magical properties from long ago that keeps it floating in the air. And we're just going to stick with that theme because that's how Minecraft is. There is no explanation for it. So, because it's cold up here, we're going to have a little bit of toasty fire in here, and fire tick is obviously turned off. So, anyone who has watch up here gets a pair of wings, and they report directly to the Lord or the King. And we're going to get to this in a second too. Look at how interesting that was, eh? So a lot of fantasy realm kingdoms, they have sort of like a beacon, a marker, a sort of like you are definitely in the capital now type thing. And a little piece of dirt on there. Must have been a lag. Anyway, here's that. Now, this part of the island over here, I'm going to be flattening down long term. This is a super long term project I got going on here. There's only part one. Probably going to be extremely, probably 100+ parts. It's going to be an ongoing series. So this is sort of like the beacon of peace or something like that. One of the reasons why this has to go is that there's going to be sort of like an oceanic checkpoint type thing here, where people who are not authorized to be in the central part over there by the sort of capital district where the king is, they can do trading over here, and they can check ships and stuff like that. I'm eventually going to be building a couple of ships. Most likely copying the shipwrecks that are in the area. Over there's very, very large areas of coral, warm ocean. So this is going to be a sort of like a, but over here it's kind of wintry. I haven't really touched this part over here at all yet. So, and that's also altitude. So this is mainly a warm area. So there's not a lot of doors, there's not a lot of heavy stuff. There's, you know, this here is up out in the open. You know, this beacon is sort of like kind of off limits. But this area over here, like if you're not really into going all the way over to where the king lives, I'm gonna just call it King Castle, whatever. You can hang out here, you can go swimming here, you can get your ship checked for whatever, if you're going to continue on from this direction, because this is a whole giant ocean over that way. I suspect this ocean is much more enclosed. But yeah, let's go back and check out that big sort of fortified deal bit up here on the hill. Now, there was a server that I was invited to be on, and then disinvited to be on. I was going to build a hilltop fortification, and this has turned out, now keep in mind, this is not supposed to be 100%, like I would say 80% grounded in reality. So these expert stonesmiths built this thing not just on top of the hill, but it's not just on top of a hill. There's stuff inside of here too, like this thing. I think we're going to call this the future dungeon, and I think also in I think also we need to put sort of like a jail area and then like a storage, upkeep type, sewage type access area, because there is a sewer system in this structure. It's not a very large structure, as you can see. We can kind of come up here and we can see the whole thing at the top here. Now this is just the first floor. We have the Great Hall. We have the privies here. There are 2 privies, okay? And in fact, let's grab a couple of doors. Now, I don't know what the inside of this is going to end up looking like, how tall this is going to be, if it's going to be arched, you know, how much of a fantasy take I'm going to sort of impart onto it. But you can do your business in there. And that's sort of like for general use. And here's like the flight area. So if you're a guest that has the wings, you can fly in this way. And there's sort of like a little storage, coat check type area over here. We're going to give that a door. And this area is going to remain open. This is like the main receiving platform over here for people flying in. There'll be guards stationed here. I'll do some armor stand stuff. And yeah, this isn't an altitude where snow is going to be an issue. We'll address that at some point. Maybe lava underneath there or something like that. So here's the other privies. Now the issue here, now that can this problem with the water being kind of like right there. This is sort of like the secondary / guest toilet. When people come up the massively tall stairs, which go all the way down that way, they can come in here and take a break, literally. Okay, so we are going to shrink the Great Hall by 1 block on the side here. That's not a problem at all. Don't care. Very common in castle design to have walls of various thicknesses to accommodate whatever function. Alright, and then we're going to have to... Now these ones have individual things flowing down. Why is that? That is because these are more secure than those ones over there. Those ones share a single sort of pipeline underneath. These ones do not. These ones drop down quite a bit before they join together. So you can see it's at least 2 blocks minimum. Oops, don't want to do that. So as you can see, these drop down quite a bit between. And they have a shared pipe down this way. It's much further down, I would say. So then we go, so this, does this need water? Oh, does it? I don't even know. Let's just say this is all filled with water, because it's actually safer that way. So we're going to come down here and I'm actually going to ghost through here. Okay, so this flows out. As you can see, there's a lot of different steps to this. So people can't really just get up in here and try to infiltrate this castle. And we'll get into that one in a second. So there's a very narrow restriction through here, and then it comes out over here. So we can take an overview of this guy here. Comes down, straight down, and now that water is not going to just always be there. It's representational of buckets that are basically filled. There's a pump and all that. I haven't put in anything and all that. Very preliminary. Basically just getting started here. But this water is representative of water that would either be used by a bucket or some other mechanism. I actually forgot. These actually need these need torches, or else they will actually freeze because we're up so high. So now we got this going on. Alright, and then we're going to put door in. And we're going to put this door in. And that door goes there. So when we close all the doors, the only thing that's open is this guy over here. And when the top half of this room is put in, it'll make more sense. One of the other things I might make this into, I'm not really sure, 100% sure actually. I think I am actually going to change this out actually really quick, so you can see that this is a very. I want to build the base of this castle big enough. Now see, I'm going to bring this out because I want a solid sort of square it off area there. Like I said, if you want to chit chat, hit me up on Twitter. Link is in the video description. It'll pop up on my phone. You can also hit me up on Discord if you're in any of the channels that I pasted the link in. Just tag me, ping me, or direct message, private message, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so we're just going to kind of emphasize the outline of this wall here, because it's, yeah. I think this is going to be the ceiling here. At least for this part. Now this could be a balcony for the next floor or something, you know, I'm not sure yet. I don't know how tall, and these mushroom blocks are markers for where I would like to have the chimneys, fireplaces, whatever you want to call them. The chimneys for, well, the fireplace will be down here. And then we will have rudimentary chimneys for sure. And I might do some corbelling with some stairs there for the back part of the back part there. Yeah. Just, you know, because the chimney needs, it's gonna need like, it's gonna need something like this going on. And obviously you can't just do one like that because there's a gap there. Masonry-wise, that wouldn't work. And visually it doesn't really work here either. They need a new inventory like thing interface here because of how many new blocks they have in 1.13, and yeah, it's just gonna get worse. Something like that. And then they may serve multiple floors. I'm not really sure yet. Oh my goodness. Keeps surprising me. Alright, then we're going to just knock these out here. Just want to make sure that all the walls are the same height. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet about some of these spaces. I really don't. But I figured that having a basic layout and the great room And this thing is so high up that I'm not really super concerned about like windows, for example. But these outer walls are a tad bit thin for how much weight they will be supporting, so I think a layer inside might do the trick here. And that might also help with the whole chimney fireplace sort of layout as well, because it'll give us additional width in the inside of the wall to work with. So this is going to be the grand, well, there used to be a room over here, so I guess this is going to be moved maybe over, well, let's see what this looks like without this here first. Not sure if anyone watched the Super Bowl. I actually did not. It's an American thing. I know not everyone's into it. Apparently it was a very low scoring game. Something like that. I don't think it's even though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, look at that. It's centered. Oh my gosh. Boy, did I luck out. Gotta trim this off real quick. I'm not sure exactly what to do with this part here. Yeah, this is live streams on. I'm not gonna do Twitch. I don't think I'm gonna be doing Twitch. Like, yeah, I have everything set up for YouTube, and it took me a long time to get it all set up. And it took me about 3 months total to sort everything out with YouTube. You know what? This room might end up being taller. I don't even know yet. But so this is gonna have to also come. Super thick walls are a hallmark of every castle wall that you will ever see. Legitimate castle wall from the medieval era. And that's fine. This, however, may be an issue. This little latrine area here. And this is going to have to be moved as well. Yeah, I might have to change this around, actually. Well, let me just put the blocks in that need to be in and see what we can do. I mean, I might be able to build it into the wall a little bit, something like that. I'm not against doing that. Obviously, this looks really silly with the doors there. My options are really limited here. You know what? Let's just do this. Then we can just have we do it with just doors, that might work. Okay, and then this guy has oh, there we go. Something like that. Well, whatever ends up happening, yeah, I think that might be okay. You know what? No, this is gonna have to all be torn out. This whole thing. Alright, so we're going to end up doubling up these walls. And we are going to end up doubling up these walls. That was originally going to be a double action kind of fireplace type thing. So this is going to have to be moved over here. I think that's a bit more realistic. And if you see here, this can't really exist here anymore, which is really unfortunate. So both of these rooms actually need to be removed, and then I might be able to redo them. Yeah, maybe move the secondary latrine type area over here, because this isn't gonna work. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, this thing here also needs to be changed around slightly. Oh, there's a kitty cat. Hey, little guy. Okay, so we're going to definitely closing that off. Alright, we're going to have to put some corbelling type thing here. Whoa. Yeah, it's pretty crazy actually. So this can actually be solid. And so can that. So we have a nice little landing here, and that can then be solid. Okay. Yeah, you can see these stairs. Okay, I'll go down the stairs. This is all the stairs right here, and they were put on top of existing stone for the most part. So let's just go down here. And I do actually need to put some torches here. This is probably the second most dangerous step. Well, actually, these two. These, yeah. Now we come all the way down here to the landing, which needs to be expanded. Now keep in mind, this would only be used by people with fairly low sort of birth ranking in this kingdom, because that would be ridiculous to try and get supplies and whatnot up here. I think the main sort of supply chain here would be through probably a couple different water elevators. For physical item transport. Or I might get hot, fancy and do a dropper raider or something. Just like a 1x3 dropper raider powered by observers. Yeah. I think that might be the way to go. Because it's a solid block. It's 3 solid blocks. So I think that this is looking quite a bit better. What are you doing? Little cat. It's a little cat conversion. Okay, so I'm going to close this in now. So the entranceway is going to be a little bit fancy. Fan in this computer needs to be vacuumed out, it's for real. I feel a lot better about that now, actually. The only thing is that this great room is now kind of lopsided. Not sure if that's okay or not, to be honest. I think we might end up just calling it quits on this sewage system type thing for now. I think we might want to call it just like not bother with that at the moment, because I don't know what's going to be above here quite yet. Look, there's a village over there. I haven't checked out the village yet. And if we come back, if we look at this, it's fairly defensible just by sheer like height. And yeah, there's like explosives and stuff, it's not sure if there's any cannon. I don't think TNT is really a thing either. Let's see what TNT would do. Let's just put some TNT, I don't know, right here. I'm just curious. Purely curious. Well, let's just say it didn't. Let's just say it knocks into it. I mean, the sheer mass of this wall. I think this is a solid wall. I think most of these are solid on this side. There is that hollow area in the middle. So what would TNT cannon do to this? Okay, so it actually wasn't near a solid wall. Well, it would blow this open. Okay, but no real damage because this is only partially held up in this corner. So this corner is actually the least reinforced part of this entire thing. So no real surprises and no damage on the inside. The torches are all still there. We have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 8, 29, 30, 31, 32 blocks missing. What if it hit, I don't know, up here instead? Like, I just want to test this and see how it would fare for real against the actual TNT cannon. So the only this is the weakest part. Keep in mind, it's a very thin wall here. So this really didn't do much damage at all. And if I was really building a super defensive castle, the inner layer here would be all obsidian, and I'm not gonna. I might do that, but I'm not gonna do that right now. To line these walls on the inside with obsidian is something that I probably should have done originally. Well, let's do TNT cannon to. How about right here? Somehow they've gotten a TNT cannon down on the ground there, and they're gonna fire it. It's good to know these things, really. And let's see if they do another one. Direct hit right on there. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. So, I mean, let's see what this does. This is 3 hits. Still not making much of a dent. We're coming into the inside of here now. But this area doesn't hold up a huge amount of weight either. So this would be, say they got like 1 more blast in here. So they can blast a hole into the inside of here. Then let's say they got 1, I don't know, right there. Now this is structural supporting. That is actually an important. Let's just say it exploded right there. What would it do? Okay, not a huge amount of damage actually. It's a lot less than I thought it was going to be. So this pillar would still be. They could shore it up. They could patch the holes. They could get people out here to deflect the TNT. Not a job that I would want. But yeah, I think that this. Now keep in mind, to get TNT all the way up here would take some doing, and you would have to actually build something. And for that to work, you would need a lot of time. And with fiery arrows raining down on here, I don't see it. So I think this is not just satisfactory. I think this is. I give this an A+. I don't even know how many shots that was. Was that 4? And that's just assuming that they get a TNT cannon somehow constructed without being killed multiple times. I mean, even in Minecraft, if you're killed, you lose all your items. You know, who's to say someone couldn't fly down from here and grab those items? You know, so it would be really hard. Very, very defensible castle this is. At this point, it's just a hilltop fortification, but I definitely do want to sort of upgrade that over time. See, this stuff, these areas here, they have to be filled in. They have to be filled in. And this, like, I think that this whole nook is going to be filled in here. Because if I leave anything, if TNT gets in here and takes out that pillar, game over. You know, like, it's not going to actually collapse, obviously, just due to the Minecraft physics. But I would call that game over. And this is a huge hollow area in here too, actually. We'll go outside of here in a second after I fill this. I have to fill this. I mean, I kind of want to go through this thing one little bit at a time and just see the different aspects before I start building like crazy. Because once I start building like crazy, it's going to be really hard to go back and sort of like correct stuff, because it's going to involve lots of block removal and replacement and measuring. I'd rather do like the measure multiple times and then cut once. I'd rather do it that way. So that is actually solid rock over there. And in fact, I'm going to go so far as to just square off. Maybe I should square off this. I'll leave the cave floor. I'll leave the cave floor because, you know, gotta have caves. But I think some of these areas like this over here, this has to be filled in. These little nook areas, which I thought were kind of interesting and gave it kind of a little bit of character. It also gives it a lot of flaws, exploitable flaws. That's not really an okay thing when you're trying to do something authentic, you know. So Mega Man X is over. Next, we're going to do Mega Man X2, one of my personal favorite games. It's a little bit more challenging than Mega Man X itself, but it's still a lot of fun. Both games are brilliant, brilliant, brilliant fun. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 5 blocks. I'm not really concerned about that. What about over here? Okay, so I'm going to put in a little bit of a layer here. And how much is this? Okay, so that's actually mountainside there. So I'm just going to quickly... Okay, right. Now I am going to be leaving a little bit of this intact because it's kind of cool, but it's also like a bubble in glass. It is a weak spot. We don't want any weak spots that can be blown through by a cannon, because as we saw, the TNT is a little bit more harsh on the stone bricks versus the stone. So if we beef up the stone brick areas, we should fare a little bit better. So yeah, this was originally all, I hollowed this out using Summon TNT, and then I just kind of left it the way it was. So I kind of punched a hole through the mountain, leaving kind of 3 different legs. There was this leg. I think there's one big leg over here, one leg over here, and I think there was like one over here, something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, at least 2 big stone sections were left intact. So yeah, we definitely need lighting in here because we don't want anything to spawn. And also, it's all better to see you with, my dear. Now, what's going on here? Okay, that's also... So now I'm going to go through here. Okay, so this did fail before. So we have, let's just see what part, how many parts were those. That's stone 1 and 2, and this is all built out. So there were actually 3 stone legs. You can see them up here. 1. Oops. 1 is right here. 1's over here, and the other one's over here. Something like that. But I might end up, I think I need to square this. This is a little bit too overhanging, I think. Not realistic enough. That's a lot of overhang. So I don't think we're going to be doing it that way. I feel a little bit better about that. A little bit, yeah, just a little bit. So like the overhang, I think should be kind of like, I want to use the word compound, but it should be overkill for how much cantilever force is going on. Like really, really overkill. This one I think is going to go all the way down. There we go. I mean, I don't see this as a bridge too far. I personally don't think that's a bridge too far, because if you see how much overhang there actually is, there's 1 block there, 3 blocks there, 2 there total. But I'm not okay with that. That's a little bit weird. So I'm going to have to bring this one down as well. It's not going to look as fantastical, but I don't want it to look fantastical. I want it to look like it's not going to fall down. And then this guy can, we're just going to seal that up real quick. That looks a lot more realistic, just to be honest with you. This, I think 3 is stretching it too much. So we're going to take this down. And over here, now keep in mind, I do want to keep with a certain aesthetic as well. So we're going to bring in some stone. I thought there was smooth stone. So I'm going to be making this corner out of smooth stone down the middle here. You guys, I think, are going to like the effect that this gives. I like the smooth stone block. It's going to work pretty well, I think. You might be guessing where I'm going with this, but I think due to the scale, I think I'm going to try and do some kind of I don't think that quite works. So I think I'm going to do 1, 2. Something like that. I'm not sure. I might do 1. 3 and 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1. Yeah, ooh, ah, ooh, yeah. I like that. Yes. Yeah, that actually looks pretty good. I might come back and change it. I'm not really sure yet. That looks okay, I guess. Maybe it's the block type. Maybe I need. You know what it is? I know what it is. It's these seams in the block. That's what it is. So the color, the middle color, like the interior of the block texture is fine, but the framing thing, I don't think that's gonna work. Oh my god, that is so good. Now that is a puzzlement. I'm telling you, I'm gonna have a hard time figuring out what to do with that. You know what? The place around this world is called lava, so I think that we will. Oh my gosh, guys. This is going to be a pretty build. You'll see in a sec here. Okay. Oh man, this is going to be. Remember I said about obsidian and all that junk about obsidian? Well, guess what? Since this is not needing to be some giant, huge, overly defensive citadel, I'm going to change out the block palette. This is going to look really good. I tried it before in another single player world and it looked fantastic. So, and I do think that this is the right sort of pattern, I guess you could call it. The interior is going to stay stone brick just because it's supposed to be a symbol, and you don't, if the block I'm thinking of, I'm going to reclad the outside of this whole thing, but first I'm going to put this in on both sides. That actually looks fantastic, and it's going to look even better once we have both sides in. And what this does is it ties in a heavier stone on the corners to kind of, well, let me put it this way. When you tie these two corners together, you want stone, you want a material in there that is, you know, beefy enough that can take the pressure enough, both the walls pushing towards the corner and pulling away from the corner. So you want a stone type that is really gonna be a really good anchor. And now, like the interior of this castle could look like the interior of this whole anchor system could look something like this. Like on the inside where you can't see it. It could look something like that where it goes way in there. So we could possibly just be seeing, hold on, just for argument's sake here, hold on. You know, and ad infinitum kind of thing. So you could tie this into the you know, the floors if you wanted to. And if you had good enough masons, you could do that. These massive timbers that just kind of slide into these slots that you've carved into the stone. We used to do all kinds of crazy stuff with stone and timber back in the day before we had sort of like plastics and whatnot. I mean, we had sort of like plastics of that time, that era. We had like different glues and stuff like that, but in general, I think that this is massively interfering. This needs to maybe move over here. Remember my rule with no ore blocks? Okay. Ore blocks are not allowed to be structural in this game. So in this world, that's one of the rules. Okay, so we're gonna punch back. And there we go. Now this one can be plugged up. Okay, we need to fix this really quick. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be so yeah, the cladding is going to be quartz block. And if this looks good, which I think it will, any part of this that is what the heck is that? Oh, that I think that was the original sort of sewer system there. Yeah, so the interior blocks are all going to stay the same, but there's going to be quartz cladding. Oh, look at that from a distance. Oh my god, that's very striking. Very striking. And that's, yeah. To keep in mind that, yeah. So I only have about another 25 minutes of this, unfortunately. What are you meowing about? Hmm? Cats, am I right? I know, I'm here. What's going on? You okay? Everything good? Yes. Oh, you have to just check in for a minute. Okay, so when this looks a little bit hodgepodge right now, just because it's up next to the stone. But I'm telling you right now, once this is, hold on, smooth quartz. What is that? I can't tell the difference. So we're gonna ignore it. I said we're not changing any of the interior blocks here. And quartz is not great at, like I said, this is basically just a cladding to signify that this is sort of like the house of the king. Jeez. What an odd little potato. Oh, he's definitely bored. Yeah, so after this, I have some dishes to do, unfortunately. It's not unfortunate that I have dishes, it's just unfortunate that it cuts into... I really truncated my time today, so around, yeah, I have about 25 more minutes. Alright, so like on the interior where I have that little dungeon cave thing, so this is basically just showing sort of like where the man-made part is. Because that's a lot of gray, and it's, frankly, it's like freaking kind of not very exciting. And I will be putting patterns, I think, now. Now, I was coming from a strictly military type structure with like that really tall staircase and no real straightforward way to get up here. But I think that given the fact that these occupants can fly in and out, and we're not really going to have TNT cannons, because realistically, the TNT cannon, the closest it would get is, well, I guess it could get right up against here, but you would have to fire way, way, way up to do any damage. And the best part about this fortress is that the upper, after the stone bit, it's going to be wood. So it's actually only supporting this main hall here, all of this stuff down here. It's only supporting this one part. I think the rest of it will actually be wood with like a masonry sort of framework, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. But yeah, it'll have like the pillars and column, not the column. Oh, so yeah, the pillars and columns, same thing. The beams will all be wood, unless I can figure out a way to make arches that won't give me repetitive strain injury. So now this is still a wall because the inside is stone. Oh no, this is not good. Oh well. I'm telling you, I think we need to make a layer below this. It's just like all lava or something. Or all torches. I think I'm going to have to do that actually at some point. Now this part isn't going to be done actually. I'm not going to do that part. Actually, yes I am. Quartz stairs. Actually, am I able to? No, that looks kind of weird. Yeah, I think we'll just go with this. I think we've established that that's the better way. That's like the proper way to do it anyway, to have like a little, or one block more than we need to be. Because in masonry terms, it wouldn't make any sense. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do this wall, this whole wall, because this is the biggest, I think this is like the biggest area with I think that is the biggest area. Aside from, no, this is definitely the biggest area with bricks. And you can see how real that just looks so much better. Now I should probably, there isn't much to this side, so maybe I should just bring it up. I'm not going to go over that way. I'm just going to do sort of like this side of it. This corner, I should say. Oh, that's right, Mega Man 2. I actually have to... put that in the dashboard real quick. It's going to be a little bit laggy because that's playing, but whatever. Look at that. Isn't that amazing looking? I can imagine once I'm done this. Oh no, it's going to be the Burger Kingdom because it's going to be a white castle. No. It's going to be the Fortress of Light. The bastion of wisdom, knowledge, virtue, and blah 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 in the world. Mew. Oh, I definitely gotta do that. Oh. Bit of lag there. Oh, excuse me. It'd be funny if castles had like specific like stone that they used around water. Maybe they did. I don't know. That's actually an interesting thought. But excuse me. So this would... No, this would be, let's see. This one does actually not go all the way down. We're going to have to start at the top for this one. Because I actually like how it terminates like that. Right at the widest part. I like that. Okay. Well, it's all coming together. This one doesn't go, well, actually it does. That one does anyway. So this is completely determined by right, so the bottom bit of this is actually whoa, too spooky for me. Ah, man, I have to go really, I feel like I'm going really soon. This kind of sucks, actually. I'm being a little bit cheaty here with that, but bubble crab, I think. Before I go, I'll finish just this one wall, so it doesn't look like a giant bird pooped on it. That looks pretty awesome. Oh, what the hell is that? Yeah, that looks amazing. Oh my gosh. Just imagine how it's going to look when it's all done. Oh my gosh. I mean, there's going to probably be... Yeah, I guess I'll do it that way. Just makes it look nice. This one was stone. Let's keep that in mind. I want to finish this corner before I go. Can I do it? Okay. That looks weird, so I'm gonna put that there. Boom. Almost done. Just a few more blocks here. Phew! Okay, let's... Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I might change up that pattern at some point, but that's actually pretty legit. And that brings me to this corner over here. You know what? I'm going to have to cantilever, corbel, whatever you're going to call this balcony here, and extend it out a bit. Because this, I'm sorry, it has to be squared off. It has to be squared off. I think this is about the right place for it. I'm basing it on this row of stone right here, and then, oh, I built it one too far right there. So it's actually this one right here. So it's not going to look cliffy at all, which kind of sucks, but if the cliff part is only at the bottom, near around the base, that's fine. That's fine. No huge loss, really. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I'm going to have to square this whole thing off. Yeah, looks like it. But that's a plus, because then I'll have more space over this way. Now, I'm not going to do it to here, because that's part of the entrance. I'm going to do it to... It'll end up looking a lot better anyway, I think, to be honest. Because it'll be like this sort of hilltop thing, and then this giant freaking fortress-looking thing coming out of the bottom. Or coming out of the top. I think that's going to end up working a lot better in general. This level is overdrive hostage, pretty sure. There's just a few more minutes left, and then I gotta go. Damn. But don't despair, because look at the size of this giant badass castle that I have going on over here. Look at the size of this thing once it's done. Oh man. Oh, it's going to look so awesome. I'm so glad I decided to do that, to square it off and use the obsidian and stuff. let's just finish off the top here. Now this whole thing is going to be reimagined, redone, something. It's not going to be here though. It's not. This little flight deck is going to be moved back. So I'm just going to take all this off. I might possibly do it like this, just so it looks like it's, yeah, I think I'm just going to use the profile this side just to, this just looks, wow, this is really wanting to rain here, huh? Look at that, I ended up taking that block out anyway. Yeah, that looks a lot better just because, like, yeah. It does look a lot better, actually. It doesn't make sense to have, visually, to have that flush because, yeah, oh my god, it looks so much better. Just that little change. So, yeah, no flush blocks allowed. Now, this is a little bit of an exception because it's right up against here. Yeah, so basically everything is going to be changed out for this course. Except for the blocks that poke out, like these. Oh, that doesn't really. I think this is Wheel Gator. I think that looks a lot better, actually. Now this is going to be a bit of a challenge because, actually, and this will make that'll make this part look a lot better too, actually. And that also means that it gives me the excuse to make internal bits to this thing. Because originally it was stonework on top of a mountain. Now it's sort of melded in, like filled in kind of thing. Which means that, in theory, this could just be one giant piece of masonry. We wouldn't know. That's one of the reasons why I did this cladding thing, is because there are sort of opportunities like that. Yeah, that's going to vastly, vastly improve the look of this thing. And it's going to make it look more, like, realistic, too. Like, let's be honest, we're not going to have this decorative block resting on a... No, we're not going to do that. It's resting on something else that we can't see inside. And it makes us guess and wonder what it is. Oh, that looks so good. All right. Well, folks, unfortunately, I do have to go now. But I'll tell you something. My next live stream won't be until Thursday. And it most likely will be something else aside from this. But I am so excited about this new series. I think this is going to be my creative series for a while. I mean, we have Winter Wonderland, How to Stay Warm, all that, which is fun. but like this is sort of really inspirational. This is like really something the creative juices are flowing, you know what I'm saying? It's really getting my brain gears engaged here. So I think what we're going to do is the next time I do a single player, I am going to creative. It's going to be this one, and I mean I think I mentioned that. I think I also mentioned that before in the Winter Wonderland live stream, is that it's not going to be a regular series. It's going to be, I'm going to put episodes out of that just when I feel like it. It's like a hobby series, whereas this one is more of like a serious endeavor to actually be literally creative. So I'm really like pushing my luck here. I actually have to do a bunch of dishes. Actually, that's all I have to do. But no, oh, you know what? I just realized I can actually push it a little bit longer. Oh, the more I do, the more better it looks. The more better it looks. Yeah, that's proper English. Good job there. Now I am going to be putting in, so it's not just, well, once it's squared off and all that, I'm going to see what it looks like. But generally, I think I am going to put, well, once this is filled out, it'll look a lot more solid anyway, so I'm not really too concerned about it, to be honest. This way I have a little preview-ish type thing. Yeah. Cool. No. I was originally thinking I might want to put something here, but I don't think I really need to. I might put some designs with like chiseled ports or something, but yeah, in general, no, I think I'm actually okay. I think this is narrow enough that, especially from a distance, you don't really need a whole lot. So, I am going to be having chat disabled, basically from now on, because people can message me on Twitter or on Discord. I paste the live stream link into Discord here and there, and on those sort of resources, communication resources, people can reach me there. I post it on Twitter, I post it on Discord, I post it on Facebook too, but I doubt anyone's gonna, and people can use Facebook Messenger that know me. My Facebook Messenger will not be used publicly. I think I can maybe rebrand. I'm not talking about branding like monetize, but I think I can sort of commandeer one of. I do want to. Maybe I should open another. Oh, that looks so good. I'm not marveling at my own handiwork. I'm really not. I'm just like, the aesthetic of this is just extremely pleasing. And the other thing I like I said earlier, that this whole thing allows is it allows all kinds of choices to be made about the interior of the structure. Like before, it was kind of limited because of the shape of it and so on and so forth, but now we know it's going to be basically a big rectangular square type. It's going to be basically a big square. Very common design, actually. Big square shape. Stable, and it's known, basically. It's a known shape that works. A lot of tons of medieval watchtowers are actually square. Interesting. Wow. Yeah, before I go, I am a little bit over time here, but I figure why not complete this. At least these two sides, and then it'll all look beautiful on this. At least these two. From the one angle, it'll look amazing. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to does seem to help a little. It has to reload though, apparently. Some sort of State of the Union thing going on tonight. Oh boy. Who knows? Ah, yes. Ah! Ah! Take a peek at that. I am literally drooling from this thing, from looking at this. Now I just gotta... Well, wait a minute, I have something missing over here. Ha. What can I say? I approve of this build. I basically just want to fill this in with brick before I go. Just make it a little bit easier for me. Yeah, I'm just going to assume this is going to all be the same height here. Well, I don't know why I'm doing it back here. This is all going to be enclosed. Yeah, force of habit. Yeah, I actually have stuff I gotta do thought the kids were coming over today, but that's actually not today. I should be actually. I'm almost done this little section here. I got done this whole side. I'm getting quicker at it. It helps when I know what I'm doing. I know that sounds obvious, but when I'm not sure what I'm doing, it takes forever. Not only do I have to check my work, but I actually also have to. Whoops, that has to be. Yeah, that's a huge amount of filling in to do. But I love how this is growing out of this mountain. That's just incredible. Look at that. We're probably going to have a few more of those and maybe have some windows up that high. I think this is probably a safe window height. But once I have a vision for what's actually sort of like the goal, it does tend to go pretty quick. I'm not going to put any more music on for today because I would have to search for. I don't want to do Mega Man X3 either because it's like 40 minutes or something. Oh yeah. Oh, good. Okay. Let's just finish the face here real quick. I'm not part of the house of black and white, even though this is black and whoa. Da, 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 da. Look at that over there. I can't see it. Yes, you can. I can't see it. Yes, you can. So you guys ready for, excited for season 8 of Game of Thrones? Oh, it's going to be so good. So good. Can you tell I'm excited? What the hell are you doing, sheep? GTFO. Now, this base is not designed to carry weight. It's just a corner reinforcement. That's why I'm not concerned about it looking reinforced at the bottom, because it's only carrying its own weight. And if it's strong enough to reinforce the corner, it should be strong enough to, you know, carry itself. That's like basic. That's like structural engineering 101. You can't just have something support the static load. It needs to be able to support the live loads as well. Or basically, anything you build has to be able to support, has to be able to handle its own mass, as well as any mass or forces impressed upon it. So if you build a car where everything is barely it holds, then it's, as soon as it moves forward, it's just gonna crumple like a tin can or something. All right, so the first thing we do is we do up here and then over here, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It'd actually be funny if that actually happened that way. So I'm going to leave that way right now. But I would love to finish this today, this part here, because this is going to take a lot of work, probably 2 or 3 hours worth of work by itself, because I have to rearrange the stairs and everything. Whoops. There we go. Then we're just helping him draw the map. 5 internet points to whoever can figure out what movie that's from. So I have to figure out what I'm doing with this, to be honest. Like this needs to be stripped all the way down to stone. And I'm not going to do it all now, but this has to all be stripped down to stone to see what I'm actually working with, because I'm not going to build stuff on top of dirt. It's not a good idea. And I appreciate the fact that they try to put the dirt on top of the stone, but there's also dirt like down near bedrock and stuff, so I want this to have some kind of basis in reality. So that's basically going to be it from me for today. So I need to strip this whole area of stone, of dirt, sorry, and yeah, it should be pretty thrilling, actually. Just do it in this corner here. That's basically all I'm going to be doing, just filling in this area. And when I need space to do something, like I'm going to hollow out areas. But anyway, guys, I just want to say thank you all for whoever's tuned in. Thank you so much for watching. Anyone who's going to watch the video when it actually posts as a non-live stream video, thank you for watching as well. So listen, as usual, love yourself, figure out what that is, love everyone around you, kindness first and always. Peace.